Hello, this is Heather Wilhelm fulfilling my PowerPoint for assignment 8, interviewing the advanced practice nurse. I will say that this interview was more interesting than I thought it would be because I'm already a nurse practitioner and I didn't realize that I could learn more from another nurse practitioner even though I have worked as an NP for 16 years. I found that I was able to connect with a colleague whom I did not know much about as far as her history is concerned, but I did like to hear about her thoughts and beliefs about being an advanced practice nurse. I interviewed Anita Clark Janes. She does have her master's in nursing. She is a certified nurse practitioner as well as a certified nurse midwife. Anita's history and education are quite interesting to me. She received a bachelor's degree in music performance and then received a master's degree in music history. Her desire was to eventually become a music professor, and she was going to start the PhD program in music. She soon discovered that she had an adversity to music academics. She did not like college academia and did not think it was a good fit for her. So she quit the music PhD program. She then decided that she could become a freelance musician. She is a very talented harpist and plays for many events in the Omaha area. She is also substituted for the Omaha Symphony when the regular harpist cannot play. I love that she has a diverse background and she can use music to get away from nursing at times. After working odd jobs and as a freelance musician for several years, Anita decided that she wanted to do something different with her career. She claims that she always appreciated nursing, so she began looking at nursing programs and eventually started nursing school at Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. She took classes to become a BSN. After graduation, Anita worked as a staff nurse for 7 years and decided to fulfill her dream of getting her master's in nursing. She attended the University of New York at Stony Brook, and she did get her master's degree in nursing. She did continue to work as a staff nurse, but decided that she wanted to become a nurse practitioner. The specific reasons for this are detailed on the next slide. As stated on the previous slide, Anita had specific reasons for becoming an advanced practice nurse. While she was an RN, she worked for One World, which is a clinic that serves lower income people and generally immigrants. There, she specialized in a prenatal care program, and again, clients were low income and immigrants. She was unimpressed with the care that was given to these patients, and she was also unimpressed with the lack of respect and compassion that was given to these patients. These are the reasons why she wanted to become an advanced practice nurse. She thought she could do better, so she enrolled in a program. After fulfilling her classwork to become an advanced practice nurse, Anita stated that there were 2 positions that were available in the Omaha area. She explored both options and decided on a position at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, or UNMC. She states that she did not negotiate salary and took the salary that was offered because nurse practitioners were not known to negotiate salaries in this area when she started. She was eventually offered another job at another hospital and was offered a $10,000 a year raise not to leave UNMC. She states that she did receive merit increases on an annual basis. The pay increase that she received shows Anita's value. The advanced practice nurse pay at UNMC is actually lower than the national average, and they claim that they have great benefits to persuade people to come to work for them or to stay working for them. People eventually explore other options and realize they can make more money, and they lose people at these positions. Currently, Anita works as an advanced practice nurse in an OBGYN clinic affiliated with UNMC colleges of medicine, nursing, and pharmacy. Her duties are providing prenatal care and well woman checks, as well as hormone therapy for transgender patients. She works at a clinic called the Specialty Care Clinic that primarily treats transgender individuals. She does this 1 day a week. Anita also holds a volunteer faculty appointment and teaches medical students and graduate nursing students. She is often included in department faculty meetings, but is not technically a faculty member. I did not state before that the University of Nebraska Medical Center is a major university medical center. It is internationally known for oncology, transplant, and biocontainment issues. Anita and I discussed her average workload at the clinic where she works. She states that she provides care for approximately 15 patients per day, primarily under the age of 40. However, she does see patients that are over the age of 40. She consults with one OBGYN, but does have access to other specialties in the department, such as maternal fetal medicine and gynecologic oncology. Anita states that she is the designated leader when there is not a physician present in the clinic. As she states, the buck stops with me when she is the only provider in the clinic. She is not involved with any research at this time, but does assist researchers in recruiting subjects. Anita does go to the UNMC grand rounds in which research is presented. She states that she learns a lot from this, and she also reads a great deal of research in journals and research done by other providers. She also likes to collaborate with other advanced practice nurses, and she mentors and is a preceptor for other advanced practice nursing students. Anita does deal with a great deal of ethical dilemma and conflict management because of the work she does. For example, she counsels patients on difficult medical decisions such as terminating pregnancies and initiating hormone therapy for gender transition. As one can expect, some of these patients that she counsels are minors. She needs to gain their trust and make sure that she doesn't disclose any unnecessary information to the parent or guardian. She discusses all ethical dilemmas with colleagues to get their advice and hopefully make a good decision. She attempts to avoid any conflict by offering options to patients to make them feel like they are making the decision. If she disagrees, she lets the patient know that she disagrees, but she does respect their decision. She is also firm with patients who make requests that she is not willing to fulfill, such as filling inappropriate medications that the patient does not need. As we discussed this topic further, Anita claims that if there is a conflict among staff, she tries to talk to the individuals involved, but expects them to work it out amongst themselves. She does not like to get into others' interpersonal conflicts, as it creates an unhealthy environment at work. She also doesn't like to take sides unless there is something clearly right or wrong. Then she knows that she has to take that further. When discussing cultural competency with Anita, I found her thoughts to be very interesting. She prefers the term cultural humility because she thinks that competency is an ideal that we strive for, but realistically, we will never achieve with every population. She believes that it is important to be open about not understanding another culture or way of life, rather than believing we have reached competency when we actually haven't. She is fluent in Spanish and has worked with Spanish-speaking patients for over 25 years. She also works with other ethnic groups that are represented in the Omaha area, such as Sudanese, Somali, and Burmese patients. She is also a great ally of the LGBTQIA+ individual and states that she enjoys working at the transgender clinic. Although Anita is a seasoned advanced practice nurse, she continues to face challenges every day while at work. She mentioned that one of her biggest personal challenges is relating to the younger generation as she ages. She feels that they have different beliefs and values. Anita is close to retirement, and I found it interesting to hear her perspective on the younger generations. She specifically mentioned that these individuals may have been taught differently than she was, and she has to accept that things may be done differently. She also feels that the tech-savvy patients and organizations can be overwhelming at times. I think that we forget that someone like Anita may experience difficulties with computerized charting and other things. Staying abreast of changes in healthcare, such as clinical topics, tests, medications, legal issues, and political issues. This is a big challenge for her. However, she tries to stay up on this every day. Anita does believe that burnout is a big challenge, especially amongst advanced practice nurses. She feels that they are expected to do more in less time. She also feels that dealing with insurance companies, billing, and other problems should not be the clinician's responsibility, and this can become very frustrating. It is also discouraging for her when she tries to make referrals and she runs into obstacles obtaining these services that the patients urgently need. Advanced practice nurses bear a heavy responsibility for their patients, and this can also be overwhelming and result in a burnout. One of the main legal and ethical issues that Anita faces on a regular basis is the topic of abortion. She feels that anyone working in an OB/GYN office would confront this on a frequent basis. She also feels that reproductive health care services are being threatened, as we've heard over the last several years. Differing advanced practice nurse laws from state to state as she works between two different states. She must be cognizant of prescribing laws and must pay attention to changing legislation. I found it interesting that she mentioned that differing state laws are a problem, as this is something that I've been concerned with for several years. It doesn't appear that this has changed. She does deal with many transgender patients. This is also legal and ethical. She feels that she must be non-directive in a patient's decision-making process, but also must be factual. She also tries not to give her opinion unless the patient is asking her to do something that is inadvisable or unethical. For example, if she's working with a transgender patient, this patient may be attempting to get hormones online or maybe getting hormones from a friend. She cannot overreact or be judgmental. And another thing that she is always concerned about is someone asking her to falsify records. Of course, she would not do this. In conclusion, I found it very interesting and very informative to interview Anita Clark-Janes. I found it interesting to see her perspective on being an advanced practice nurse, and I also found it interesting exploring her background on how she became an advanced practice nurse. Although I know her fairly well, and I know her as a colleague, there were stories that she told that I found remarkable. I also like what she does for a living. In the future, I would like to counsel transgender individuals on hormone therapy, and I feel that she would be a great resource for this if I need her. In some ways, I feel that we are similar. I too was a music major before I went into nursing. I decided I didn't want to teach music, therefore I entered nursing school. I had always been interested in medicine and psychiatry, so I felt that this was a good choice for me. I have to admit, in the beginning, I thought that this assignment would be boring for me because I'm already a nurse practitioner. What possibly more could I know? In fact, I learned a lot from Anita. I learned her perspectives as a seasoned advanced practice nurse and someone who has been practicing longer than me. There were many things to consider that she mentioned. Thank you for having me do this assignment.